see it.
All right.
Well,
Coach, first, a lot to talk about, but when it comes to the game, just how would you characterize your team's performance?
It was good. It was a bit of an unusual game. Like, I think shot totals are so low, but both teams, it was 31 missed, right? I think most of the best offense of the game never actually got to the net. It got missed. Fairly strong, wobbled a little in the end of the second. Certainly the 3-1 goal was important, and then Staal's goal is critically important when they're putting that push on. So pretty good. I thought both teams had places they could have moved the puck that didn't. There were a lot of flips into the neutral zone. I think we might have been guilty of that. But you know what? It's a road win for us, and kind of keep it going.
Sam Bennett's line was incredibly effective. What can you say of that line, and then do you have an update?
Nothing on Sam. We'll take a look at him tomorrow, see how he's feeling. That line's been so strong for us. I mean, Matthew just ringing up 3-point nights. They've been good, and Sam Bennett is kind of the unsung quiet hero here for our team this year. He's been so important. But they control the puck in the offensive zone. They're at the point now that there's seemingly like very little risk in their game. They just put pucks deep. If they have a chance to make the play, they do, but they're not forcing the game. Matthew's such a brilliant player below the hash marks. They can generate so much out of the corners.
you clawed your way back into a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 months, health, better schedule, but what else has gone well and what needs to go well down the stretch?
Well, goaltending would be maybe prime. Mm-hmm. Right? We struggled with it early. I think our schedule and health had a lot to do with that. Our December, I thought we started playing better in December, but nobody could tell, just because of the schedule we had. Barkov was out, Lundell was out, Gudish was out. So we were scratching and clawing after the first period of the Ranger game on our first game this year. From that point on, we've been a pretty darn good team. But I don't think the other piece, the far more important piece, is that we now compete much harder in the 5 feet of ice that the puck is in. There's not as much looping. We've changed. We play a completely different style of game. And we generate offense differently now. We believe that we generate offense a way that you could at this time of year, scoring more goals, but also in the playoffs. It's a harder offensive game. There's not as much stretch in our game. There's not as much looping in our game. It's built more for hard hockey.
So you think that'll serve you well down the stretch and if you get in?
I think we have a game that we understand that we can replicate. I think that it's not as in the playoff game, the rush game disappears, the pucks go to the walls, and it's a grind. We're good at that now.
Sasha Barkov with an assist in the second period, becoming the franchise leader in points. What impresses you most about his allegiance to this franchise?
He is, I don't know, maybe the most humble man that I've ever met. Certainly the most humble elite player that I've ever met. He feels he's the all-time leading franchise player, but the 13th forward and the 7th defenseman in his eyes are just as important as he is to the team, and he treats people like that every day. Every single day of this man's life, he is absolutely, completely humble. And we've changed some lines on him and moved some people around. I talked about that this morning. He says, I don't care who I play with. We got good players. I'll play with anybody. And that's the brilliance of his captaincy, is the way he makes everyone feel equal to him.
How has he personally impacted you?
I think he's made me a nicer person. Like he's so honest and so open and easy to coach in terms, but more than that, open to direction, trying to make the game play, and he tries to do the things that the team needs to do. And he never puts himself ahead of the team. Like, that's a man you just never see cheat in the game. And there maybe somebody out there would say, well, if he did, he'd get more points. But that would be so far away from his character. It's just he has no cheat in him on and off the ice.
Thanks, Coach.